In 2006, Jeremy Clarkson attempted to sail a modified Toyota Hilux across a British reservoir. It lasted only a few seconds before plunging nose first into the mud at the bottom. Over the next 9 years, these challenges became a recurring staple of the show. They drove record-breaking viewership and generated millions of views across global streaming platforms, turning makeshift boat cars into a hallmark of the series. On screen, the narrative was simple. 3 television presenters were using basic tools and chaotic logic to force ordinary cars to do the impossible. The part viewers didn't see was the constant presence of a professional mechanical crew. These teams engaged in a 24-hour struggle against saltwater corrosion and the basic laws of physics just to keep the vehicles from becoming permanent underwater scrap. By analyzing the technical failures that the cameras usually ignored, we can see the sheer mechanical effort required to keep these doomed engineering projects from sinking for good. This is a 1960s amphicar. To function as both a car and a boat, it relies on displacement. It uses a specialized watertight hull and a carefully calculated waterline to ensure the weight of the water it pushes away equals the weight of the vehicle itself. The Top Gear builds took a different approach. Instead of a balanced hull, the team often strapped empty steel drums to the sides of heavy pickup trucks to provide lift. This created massive weight distribution issues. Mounting heavy rear payloads shifted the vehicle's center of mass far beyond its design. Without a balanced center of gravity, these cars tipped violently upon entering the water, instantly submerging their hoods and drowning the engine blocks. Propulsion was equally problematic. The team often bolted heavy outboard motors to the rear of passenger cars. These motors were frequently overwhelmed by the weight of the car, leading to constant stalling under the mismatched load. Because these builds violated the basic principles of marine displacement and balance, they were essentially designed to fail the moment they touched the surface. Waterproofing presented the next hurdle. While marine engineering requires specialized seals, the presenters relied on household silicone and rolls of plastic cling film. These improvised solutions failed almost immediately. High engine temperatures melted the plastic film, creating fire risks, while the silicone seals peeled off under water pressure, turning the cabins into bathtubs. For major stunts, like the 22-mile crossing of the English Channel, the maintenance crew had to work through the night to keep the vehicles functional in open water. Mechanics spent 12 hours at a time stripping engines to clear corrosive salt water out of flooded cylinders, ensuring presenters could film the next morning. During the actual crossing, crews were forced to perform emergency welding on the holes, patching leaks while the vehicles were still moving. To protect the electronics, the crew even resorted to using hotel hairdryers to manually dry out wet spark plugs and wiring between takes. Even if a car stayed afloat, it was being destroyed from the inside. Saltwater causes rapid chassis disintegration. One crossing was enough to make a reinforced truck look like Swiss cheese, effectively aging the metal 10 years in a single afternoon. These vehicles didn't survive because of their design. They survived because a crew of mechanics was essentially rebuilding them from the ground up every few hours as the water dissolved them. The results of this corrosion were permanent. Richard Hammond's yellow Volkswagen Golf was so badly rotted after its time in the ocean that it had to be quietly scrapped as a rusted pile of metal. In contrast, Clarkson's Toyota Hilux survived its various sinkings and crossings, eventually being moved to the National Motor Museum as a permanent exhibit. These televised disasters surprisingly encouraged a new wave of amateur engineering. Fans began building their own amphibious vehicles, documenting their builds on social media, and taking the show's failures as a starting point. By putting the limits of household sealants and makeshift buoyancy on a global stage, the show highlighted exactly where traditional car parts fail in water. This pushed the hobbyist community toward more robust solutions, like modular seals and epoxy resins, to address the leak points Top Gear's crew famously fought with duct tape. In the end, these cars aren't remembered for their efficiency. They stand as a demonstration of mechanical stubbornness, proving that with enough ingenuity and a literal mile of duct tape, even a mathematical disaster can be forced to float.